Hi all fellow travelers, myself Konseng, and I just want to share my experience regarding my travel that I actually made a few days back to Ladakh. That's like, you will find it in the northern part of India. This place is basically, something that has got full of, what do you say, nature's beauty at the same time, a bit of a place where you will find Buddhism still intact as it was, like you would say, few hundred years back. So the place is still to find its place on the global tourist map, but I thought, like, since it's an upcoming destination, why not just give it very personal information, because I actually traveled it since I traveled a few days back. So I thought, like, let me just share the experience with you guys. So here it goes. Firstly, I would just like to say, since I stay a bit far from the place called Ladakh, so I had to take two modes of transportation. Firstly, initially I had to carry a flight, but the thing is that it's not necessary that you will have to take a flight, but for all those people who are traveling all the way from abroad, and since you know that the Ladakh is in India, that's like in the Asian continent for sure, so you will have to take firstly the flight all the way from your destination country, from your country to the destination country, of course. The main primary junction point will be either Delhi or Bombay, you can say, because direct flights either from Bombay or Delhi are easily available, and yeah, you can take the flights from there to Delhi. But initially, the one small disadvantage that you guys might face is the fact that the place in Ladakh, it's like totally arid, but it's usually called as a cold desert. Primarily, like, you can enter India via two main airports, those being Delhi and Bombay. So most of the international flights actually land in either of these two airports, and if I have to say, if the nearest airport from Ladakh, that means the nearest international airport from Ladakh has to be Delhi. It's just an hour and a half flight at the max from Delhi. But usually, since all the flights to Ladakh usually tend to fly in the morning peak hours, that is like within the range of 5 AM till 7 AM in the morning. During the season time for sure. So what happens is that, like, you will have to book your connecting flight all the way from your home nation accordingly. Primarily, like, all the major flights, that is the Indian carriers, used to fly to Ladakh for sure. But the thing is that initially there was Kingfisher as well, but right now they actually suspended the flights all till Ladakh. But yes, you will find all the major carriers like Jet Airways, Air India for sure. Then you've got even Go Air flying all the way, like 7 days a week, so it won't be at all a problem. And apart from this, those who are a bit more adventurous, they can actually take the route via road, and that is like it will be actually one of the most memorable road trips ever, if at all people do dare to take that road. That is the Manali Shimla Ladakh highway that starts all the way from Delhi. So yes, people, you might, if at all you plan of going all the way up there by either a bike or car, my suggestion personally would be the bike. Of course, the bike has to be a bit strong one, because the fact is the terrain is pretty tough, and since the terrain being tough, you will have to have all the essential gears, and since the place is located in one of the most pretty high elevated zones, so you will have to be pretty much aware of the whole situation. So for that thing, I would of course recommend you to read the books like Lonely Planet, or you can even go for rough guides. If not, if you don't like to refer either of these, you can at least refer to Wiki Travel for sure. Bikes in general, you will find the Indian heavy doors, that is the Royal Enfield. You can actually hire those bikes all the way from either from Chandigarh or from Delhi for sure, or else the easiest and the most convenient way of finding a bike, if at all you opt for getting one, up till Ladakh, is from Manali. So from Manali you can actually hire all the variants of all variety of bikes at the same time, even cars if you want to go ahead with, if at all you feel like. But my personal choice, as I've said already to you, is the Royal Enfield for sure. But be prepared to be a bit adventurous at the same time. You should be a bit immune in order to cope up with the weather that you will be facing all the way up till the journey ends in the capital city of Leh. That's in the one of the most hostile regions of the world, if not India for sure. Then yes, you can take the route, but it is a bit tiring route, because the trip itself is going to take like minimum 2 days for sure. Since personally I haven't made the trip, so I can say you about the bike ride for sure. But the easiest option being the flight one, so I actually opted that thing. But since I said acclimatization problem is something that you will face if at all you carry forward with the flight thing. But if it's the case of the bike, since you will have to make a few stopovers in between in various places, and those places, I'm telling you, these are one of the most stunning landscapes that you will ever encounter. So coming back to the destination, Ladakh itself, so it's a huge region. I would say you can even compare it to one of the small states of any European country. So you know, it's a huge state with the least population you will ever find in the Indian subcontinent. So what happens is that the fact that once you are over there, you will find it totally a different region altogether, because it is one of the most arid regions in India. So not to forget the cold over there, which is like pretty much thrilling itself. But yeah, that itself is an experience, isn't it?
In Ladakh itself, the main tourist spots that you can actually go ahead and have a try on to lies in the town of Leh, or you can, if you want to try something different, you can actually go out to the outskirts of the town of Leh, where you can actually find, I mean to say, for all those nature admirers and the nature lovers, they can actually go ahead and have a nice time if they want to, you know, get themselves onto a bike and just go ahead on a trip that will actually be quite a memorable, I'm sure. But on a personal note, I would just like to say that I actually visited this many places. For example, I did visit Shanti Stupa, that is actually located in a hilltop. It's just in the middle of the town, so it's not much of a trouble if at all. Like, even if you feel like walking, you can actually hike up till the top. But it is a bit tiring in some points because the stairs might prove to be a bit difficult. Secondly, for the ones who would like to not take take the option, they can actually go ahead and with the help of a car. And if they do so, it will be much more easier. At the same time is something that will be actually saved. And secondly, they can actually check out a few monasteries that are actually located in the outskirts of the town of Leh. For example, you can go ahead and Tikse and the Shea Monastery, that is like 45 minutes at the max at a distance. At the same time, you can actually even go on public transport. I mean, say those people who want to experience the public transportation system of the particular place and actually go ahead and take the minibuses that are available. But the thing is that the convenience and timings are a bit irregular, so you got to cope up with that thing. But yes, there is always an option of hiring a bike over there in the capital itself, where like bike rental facilities are in their most in the most balance of the numbers you can actually imagine of. So there won't be any problem, provided that you know what an Indian driving condition is like. But since the road lies in one of the highest regions of India, so traffic is actually not that busy compared to what the other parts or the plains of India does have. So it will be quite a thrilling ride if at all you like guys want to like go ahead and have the experience. And apart from that, you can actually go ahead and check out a few lakes that are actually situated just next to India and Chinese border. So a few lakes that I actually visited. The number one that I actually did was the Lake Pengong. It is located somewhat like 5.5 hours from the capital, for which actually you have to come out and travel pretty early, like morning 5 o'clock or something. You got to take your motor vehicle. Even bike rides to the lake is possible. It takes a total of like 5.5 hours. So yes, that is one of the most thrilling experiences that I'm sure you will ever encounter while you were there in the place. So yes, you can actually hire a car rental facilities are there. At the same time, few national parks are situated in between the lake and before the lake itself, so crossing the snow. At the same time, glaciers and a few, I suppose, if you're lucky, you might even encounter a few animals in between, which will make your trip quite interesting one. But yeah, for all those people who have that accommodation problem and nauseatic feeling might not be that uncommon for you people. So as I did on a personal experience, I'm telling you. So yeah, and one more thing that you can actually, other lake that you can actually visit is the Lake Sommariri. That is another like 6 or 7 hours in a totally different direction from where the Lake Pengong actually lies. So that is another destination that you can actually visit, and that is quite interesting at the same time. Same, you will have to take either a car or you can even go ahead on a bike. Other destinations that I can actually recommend you in the Ladakh Valley would be the Numra Valley and also the Nimu village. Actually, you will find quite some interesting animals, primarily the double hump camel, which is pretty an interesting creature itself. So apart from that, if I had to suggest for any newcomers who would like to visit the region regarding the question of lodging and fooding facility over there, it's actually not at all a big deal, provided you are staying in the Leh town itself, because there are innumerable number of guest houses and restaurants flocking all over the town, and mostly in the Changspa and Old Fort Road. I personally would recommend you Changspa Lane for its basic but pretty comfortable and cheap rooms, providing the utmost brilliancy of the hospitality of the Ladakhi people. So that's pretty good. So apart from that, a few tips that I would like to give is that to carry on some warm clothes with you, because Ladakh is actually having quite a drastic climate. It can be cold at times in a very bad way. At the same time, it can be hot, not that hot that you can bear it, but sunburn is something that is quite possible. Apart from this, I would personally recommend you to go ahead and take a bike over there, hire a bike over there, and just go around all of the region, because you're never going to regret the whole experience, and I'm sure it is going to be one of the most memorable experiences of your lifetime. So yes, apart from this, I just want to say that since this is the very first initial video, I'm sure there are bound to be mistakes, and any suggestions and comments are always welcome. To actually see much more interesting videos, considering that I have traveled quite the length and breadth of the whole nation, that is India. So I'm sure you would like to watch those too as I upload from now on. So any more further videos or tips that you would like to go ahead, or like any other sort of information that you would like to know, please contact the link below over here. So that's all I want to say. So experience a nice trip if at all you're planning for Ladakh, and thank you so much for watching. Over,